Volodya got a job as a trucker right after he was expelled from the institute. He was lucky to have a license of all categories. After he was expelled from the institute, his life somehow turned upside down. His parents stopped financing. His wife immediately filed to divorce, took their son away, and through the court got them banned from seeing each other. So long-distance flights across the country simply saved Volodya from loneliness and rash actions, and also saved money on housing. The cabin of his native Kamaz now became home for him. This is how a person's life can turn upside down just because of failed exam, on a subject that in principle neither in life nor in work no one has ever been useful. However, this was not the last surprise that fate had prepared for Volodya in his life path. He was driving along highway, unsuspecting, and suddenly there was a traffic jam, just like in the city. Well, what kind of miracles? Maybe an accident? And what if help is needed? Volodya, just in case, stopped on the side of the road and went to look, and there is such a picture. 3 bears are sitting on the highway and do not allow cars to pass. Then Volodya realized that he was the only one who was alone with such a ferocious predator. Smart people sit in their cars. Well, he was a trucker. He needed more than anyone else. Volodya was not a timid man. One-on-one he would have gone against a bear, but there were 3 of them. Involuntarily the guy started looking around and searching for escape routes. If the bear ran away, Volodya would never have time to get to his car. And there he still had to open the door. The guy looked, and the people in the cars were pointing at the bears and waving their hands. He took a closer look, and one of them had a baby in its mouth. Volodya almost fainted. That was the last time he had seen his son like that. It was unclear what the bear was doing with the baby. He'd put him down, then he'd take him in his mouth. And where did he get him? In the middle of the taiga. Then Volodya himself became furious and threw himself right at the predators. 3 bears got scared of the guy's behavior. They jumped up and ran back to the taiga where they had come from. They took the baby with them. Volodya was furious with it. He realized only then that the bears were not afraid of him, but were leading him to the place where they had taken the child. Right in the forest lay a girl. She was unconscious. It was clear from her clothes that the girl was a prisoner. Well, she is obviously a fugitive, Volodya thought. If they are released, they leave their uniforms there. It's bad luck to take something out of prison with you, and it's a woman after all. The bears are walking around, licking her, but they can't bring her to her senses. Then Volodya understood everything. The bears were not trying to eat the child. They were trying to attract people in this way, to call for help. Apparently, the girl gave birth in the forest. She probably ran away, so she wouldn't have to give birth in prison. Who would want to live with such fate? It's a stigma from childhood. The child should be born in freedom, but the poor thing had to give birth on the road, and then the bears found her. That's how it happens. People don't help, but wild animals come to the rescue. Volodya started to bring the girl to her senses. The bears realized that they had achieved their goal, left the baby, and went away. The girl came to her senses slowly. She looked around, frightened at first, but Volodya calmed her down. They examined the baby together. Surprisingly, there wasn't a scratch on him. Here's another miracle of nature. The bear, a rough wild animal, had treated the baby better than some midwives. Volodya knew about it firsthand. He had a younger sister, disabled from childhood, due to improper childbirth. That's what the certificate said. But in reality, the drunken midwife just dropped the baby on the floor. So much for the paid maternity hospital. As it turned out, the girl's name was Katya, and she really escaped from the prison. Only she fainted not from childbirth, but from fear when 3 bears came out of the taiga at her cries. She didn't know that they were her guardian angels, and would save her and the baby, and they would also bring her such a good guy. In short, right there they decided that they would name the boy Misha, after all 3 savers. Because in Russian, the bear is Misha. Volodya helped Katya get to his Kamaz. There was no traffic jam on the road. The cars had parted as soon as the bears left the road. The highway was already completely empty, so no one saw them. Katya and Misha traveled around the country with Volodya in his cabin. Of course, the young people's feelings flared up, and what was to be done? Katya was a fugitive. Volodya could not give her up because he loved her. When they returned to the place of registration, Volodya went to the head of the convoy. He had to consult on what to do with Katya. He was like a father to Volodya, and when he returned to the car, everything was solved by itself. On the seat, he found a note. Take care of Misha. Katya gave up on herself. She saw how Volodya felt about her son and knew that she was leaving him in good hands. She didn't get much credit for coming to confess, for running away, and soon Katya was released for real, officially, as an honest prisoner. She knew where she was going. Unlike many people, she had a place to go back to. Her husband and son were waiting for her at home in the village. When Katya disappeared, Volodya found her in the prison. They married there. Volodya adopted Misha. He had to quit his job. Now there was no reason to drop out of life for 6 months. His life was just beginning. Volodya and the child moved to the village to Katya's grandmother. She never realized that Misha wasn't Volodya's son. What really, Volodya didn't ask. His own life was divided into before and after. Dear viewers, if you liked this video, then give us a like, subscribe to our channel. See you later.